Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Thursday afternoon here in the part of the U.S. It's time for the Manufacturer Showcase. And today we have a very special guest. It's Reinhard, Delta Hotel 3 November Alpha Bravo from RF Kit. Hello, Reinhard.
Hi, Tim.
How are you?
Well, today I'm feeling very good.
Now, why are you feeling very good, Reinhard?
Well, honestly, let's just come to the story. Today we finally got granted the FCC certification for the RF2KS, and it was a long way to go.
Right. So that means that we can start selling the RF2KS here in the United States assembled. So it can be RF kit assembled, which makes it a lot easier on the customers.
I feel with you, Tim, because I'm doing the kit stuff since almost 4 years, and I'm used to almost every question coming up.
Yes. So this is great news, and Reinhard makes a very popular amplifier that we have been selling as a kit here in the U.S. And of course, Reinhard has been selling them around the world. But it's solid state. It works 160 meters through 6 meters. A little reduced power on 6, but 1,500 watts on the other bands. And Reinhard has more news.
Yeah, Tim. The FCC version right now, we got 1,500 watt on 6 meters.
Great.
Eraser.
Great. So 1,500 watts, 160 through 6. That is great, and it is a small amplifier too. Do you have one handy that you can show our viewers?
Oh, just here.
Yeah, right there. Look how it's small. It's lightweight, and it's got an antenna tuner in it too.
Yep. What's 34 pounds?
Yeah, 34 pounds.
Well, and everything is built in power supply and everything. It runs from actually 90 AC up to 290 AC.
So, and it figures out. It takes care of the voltage. You don't have to switch anything. You just plug it in the wall, and it figures it out. And it works on 50 cycles and 60 cycles, right?
Yes, that's the terrors.
So 90 volts to 290 volts. But if you use it like on 120 volts here in the U.S., you're going to be limited in the power output that you can get, right?
Yes, the power supply in itself got an internal voltage sensor. So actually from 90 to up on 175 volt, it got reduced power. If you exceed that one, then you get full power, which is a nice thing, because a lot of contesting or contest station running generators, they don't have a stable voltage, and it goes up and down and doesn't hurt the amplifier at all. So that's a good thing about it.
That's great. And how much power does it take to make 1,500 watts, let's say, on 20 meters? What's the power input?
The power input, well, the drive power, RF drive?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's almost flat. It's almost flat between 1.8 and 5 and 6 meters. Plus minus, let's say it's between 50 and 60 plus minus watts. So the drive is almost flat.
So 50 watts drive will get you 1,500 out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the TR switching, is that done with relays or pin diodes?
It's with pin diodes, and well, the TRX switching actually takes just 500 microseconds.
Yes.
That's very, very fast. Actually, just yesterday, Bob, 5B4HEN, he posted something, some groups IO. He's a heck of a CW guy, he loves CW and QSA, and he just loved it. And for everybody, it's a nice report. he did two tests actually. One was just frequency sensing. That means you don't need anything. You can run this amplifier with whatever radio you got, even with a 50-year-old radio. The only thing it takes is RF in and push to talk. And it senses so fast so that on a date you're just losing about, let's say 2 to 3 milliseconds with just a few percentage. Actually, his high-speed friends, they couldn't hear it.
Good.
It's just frequency sensing and QSK in between.
Yeah, full QSK. And, Reinhard, I know the answers to these questions, but I'm asking you the questions that the customers ask us all the time, and I know, we've gotten good at helping customers. Corey, W3CDG, does a tremendous job, and I know he has worked lockstep with you on this project, and it's really worked out well. But what an incredible piece of gear! I mean, look, here's an old Alpha amplifier, Reinhard. This thing weighs 80 pounds. It's huge.
Yep, and probably a little bit noisy as well.
Oh, it's noisy, and I mean, I love it. It's a beautiful amplifier, but it makes 1,500 watts. But it is the size of 2 RF kits.
And it takes probably twice as much power and produces a lot of heat. And that's the beauty of that stuff. Now, it's really not loud at all. I got a lot of feedback from customers saying, you know what? My PC is louder than the amplifier.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so we're talking to Reinhard, who is the founder and owner of RF Kit, and we're talking about his amplifier. It's a 1,500 watt solid state amplifier, no tubes, solid state amplifier using LD MOS, and it is absolutely beautiful. There are some really good photos that are on the DX Engineering website. Just put in RF-Kit, and Reinhard, I know this has been your life's work.
Well, it's my hobby.
Right.
And Tim, you know how this all came up. It's actually, for those who always wonder why this is called B26 out of 2KS amplifier. B26 is actually the name of our club in the region here, yeah? So, and it started all out of club project,
Right.
So, and it's just ridiculous where it went. So now we got an FCC certified lead limit power amplifier. It's amazing.
It is amazing, and you definitely have pushed the envelope, and it is a great piece of gear. We're getting some good feedback, but I think we'll get even more good feedback once we start selling the assembled versions.
Yeah. No, well, it's not a lot to do, but still, you need to know what you do. And honestly, I think you got some customers, I got some customers, which actually buying the kit because it has an attractive price as well,
Yes.
Great feature-wise, it got so many features in there. I think no other amp has, including the remote control and Wi-Fi control and all that stuff. So, but some of the hams, they just buy it on a nice price, but trouble was getting it together.
Yeah. So there's a question here in the chat room. There's Delta Lima 2 Golf Mike India is on with us today from Germany. And Edward says, when could I get an FT897 by mail? As soon as I mail my money, please let me know. Edward, if you would please call the 800 number, call into DX Engineering, and they'll give you all the information on how to get that FT897. And Henrik Oscar Zulu 1 India November Golf says, I like your QSK ability. So he's complimenting you, Reinhard. And so is it 100 watts input? No, it only takes 50 watts to make 1,500 watts. So 1,500 watts is all the power you're allowed to run in the United States. And so 50 watts in will give you 1,500 watts to the amplifier. And let's see, if you have any questions about the RF kit amplifier, we have Reinhard on, Delta Hotel 3, November Alpha Bravo, and he can answer your questions. Is your camera movable, Reinhard, where you can show the amplifier a little better?
Well, I can move it over here. Hold on a second. Well, that's how it looks like.
Yeah, and we could even take Reinhard full screen to get a better shot of the amplifier there.
So it's, like I said, it's a 7-inch touchscreen. Everything is, you're going to go operate, standby. I got a menu setting here. You can configure everything like, let's see, antennas, which frequency band should be on which antenna. And we get a nice upgrade and update functionality. You just need to click on update and it tells you, oh, you're on the latest software. And if there's a new software version, you just push an update and you got to get downloaded a new software. No USB stick, it runs right off the internet. Well, the VNC is then for remote control, and we just introduced the CAT functionality over the weekend. So you can actually choose your manufacturer, like ELAT, ICOM, you choose your rig, whatever rigs, baud rate, and then you're good to go.
And it does all the tuning automatically, so you don't have to worry about tuning. The antenna tuner's automatic.
Yeah, and that gets me back to one, Tim, when you had this meeting, the thing about solid state versus tube amplifier. Do you remember? It's about a week ago, too.
Yeah, yep.
There's one advantage of a solid state. You do lightning fast Q1. There's no tuning required, nothing. It's tuned. Like in this, even in this report Bob came up, he's just doing hot QSY and CW. And he measured a 60 millisecond until he is on his new frequency and a new band, including tuner settings and everything.
Right.
That's,
yeah, you don't have any knobs. There's no knobs on your amplifier.
You got monobands over there, you know?
Yeah, but I still have 2 knobs. You don't have any knobs.
Yeah, so there's nothing there. Once you start it, the tuner is being set up. It's going blah, blah. Within 60 milliseconds, which I think I measured in the early when I tested it in 20 milliseconds. So we need to look what's went wrong in the software. It's now 60. But anyhow, you can jump between bands. And being in a contest, that's a very helpful thing because sometimes you're going to go to jump to get a multiplier, things like that. It's lightning fast.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really fast, and it's incredible the size of the amplifier. The power supply is in there. All the TR switching is in there. There's an antenna tuner in there. And when the fans are going, it's hard to hear them. They're very quiet.
Yeah. I think that's one of the features hard to beat. There's still a lot of, when you were there, here showed you what we did, and it's a lot of testing, wind measurements, airflow measurements to keep the noise down and good airflow. It's definitely one of the quietest amplifier, and a lot of guys say, well, I'm using the radio. It just goes up to 48 degrees, and the fans are so soft. Like my TS2000 over there, the fan is louder than the amplifier.
Right. Now, how many antenna again, I know the answers to these questions, but
Yeah.
how many antennas can I put on the back panel?
Okay, as of today, we got 4 antennas. Yeah. And with one of the next software release, we're gonna get 16 antennas
Wow.
to one feeder. Actually, Tim, apologize, I can't remember the naming of the brand, but you got a remote antenna switching.
Yes.
You can
Plus. Yeah.
yes, where you got the antenna switching up on the tower, running with one feeder back to the shack.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you know that there's an output there? It fits directly 1x1 to the RF2KS. So, in this way, you can control up to 16 antenna, including tuner settings. So, you just switch the antenna, the amplifier is already there before you can push the button, push to talk.
That is incredible, and it is such a good-looking front screen. It's beautiful. It's black. The cabinet is a nice black polished, and so it looks really good and it works really good. And now that you've got it so that the switching is so fast, I mean, that's incredible. Let's see here. We have let's see. Valero says it's SO2R option built in like the SPE Expert amplifier.
No. But SO2R, it's an easy thing to do. Just build yourself an external box, first come, first serve. The amplifier switches so damn fast, so you just need to give him a push to talk.
Right.
That's what it is. Just, you just switch between your two transceiver.
Right.
And the amplifier, even with frequency, I don't need a cut interface or anything. Frequency sensing is 3 milliseconds and you're on the air. Nobody hears that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Jeff says, I almost bought one of these amplifiers. In the end, I got the ACOM 1200S and remote tuner, as well as the FTDX 101MP. I am now happy but broke.
Well, nothing lasts forever, and sometimes things break and you have no idea.
Kilo Bravo 3 Hotel, Dr. John says, aesthetically pleasing as it is functional. Great amplifier, a winner. And let's see, our friend Michael says, now if I have dipoles for certain bands, can I select a band for each antenna? So if I go to 40 meters, will it switch to antenna 2, or move to 80 meters, will it switch to antenna 3?
Well, like I said, we've got 4 antenna connectors, which you can decide what should be on.
What can be on what band? So when it senses we're on 80 meters, it can go to the right antenna.
It's just stay on the right antenna. And even where in one of the next version, if you got, let's say, 3 different type of antennas for one band, you can directly select them and switch backwards, forwards. And a good thing is, tuner, they always tune. Because you know them before, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing it. It sits just there and does its job.
Right. Now, so John says, will it hold up to running RTTY contesting at 1500 watts?
Yeah. There's a lot of RTTY contesting done. I know a few guys over in Belgium. They love them just. They bought already a second one. They're running RTTY. It's a 50% duty cycle, and FT8, like Corey did a test, they were running it about 5-6 hours. That on different bands, and FT8.
No problem. All right. So Mark says, do you plan a completely fully built amp version? The answer is yes. Reinhard received the FCC type acceptance on the assembled amplifier today. So look for DX Engineering to be selling the fully assembled and tested, calibrated RF2KS here very, very soon. And David says, "Hi guys, I missed the start, but has ICOM CIV been included?" That comes from Australia.
Yes.
So he has CIV.
Corey just tested it with his 7300, and that's part of the cut interface we got.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know Corey's been doing testing with you. And Eric says, how many amps on 240 volts? So it's pretty easy to do the math on this. 240 volts, you're going to draw about 20 amps. It takes maybe a little less.
13.
13.
Yeah, so the efficiency on the best efficiency is, let's say, an 80 meter, it's 70% efficiency. And
right.
if you look at the power supply itself, it's got 96% efficiency.
Right. So it's very high efficiency.
Very high efficiency, and that's why 13 amps means straight kilowatt, and the power supply is able to do straight kilowatt.
Right. You would want to have a 20 amp breaker, and
well, 16 amp breaker. This is what we have in Germany, for example. It's got 60 amp breaker, and that's what's built in the amplifier as well.
The amplifier itself. Okay. Very good. Michael says, will it auto switch? Yes, it does. Very fast. It uses RF sensing to figure out what frequency you need to be on. And so it goes very, very quick. And Henrik says, this is Oscar Zulu 1 India November Golf. Reinhard, he says, will it work on 60 meters?
Yes.
Okay. And of course, here in the U.S., we're not allowed a lot of power on 60 meters. So
same here, Tim. But it's the usual thing. You can buy a car which runs 300 kilometers. It's up to you what you're riding.
Oh, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's true. It's a little bit better in Germany. Still.
Yep. Let's see here. Let's see. And with RTTY this weekend. Yes, there is an RTTY. The WAE RTTY contest is this weekend. And let's see. John says, don't need to answer this on air, but what software are you guys using for the stream that pops up the questions from Facebook and YouTube chats? We're using a piece of software called StreamYard. And Valero says, is it also auto-tune? Of course it's auto-tune. It's auto everything. Everything's automatic on this amplifier. It won't make your coffee. That's the only thing. You're going to have to go somewhere else. But it's auto-tune on the amplifier. It's auto-tune on the tuner.
Yeah, and then the endless memory settings, for some critical antennas, you need a lot of tuner settings per band. We're hardly running out of memory.
Right. Joe K0NEB asks, is there an antenna tuner built in, or will that be an option? It's built in.
It's always built in.
And what is a comfortable SWR for the tuner?
It usually tunes from a 3 to 1. Yeah, that's what matches. Some antennas even go down from a 5 to 1. It really depends on the type of antenna.
Right.
We're limiting. I personally draw the line at 100 watt reflected power. If you get a 1.5 kilowatt, it's a 1 to 1.75. But here's my point. If you can't get the antenna better than 1 to 0.75 with a tuner, you must do something with your antenna. Right. It doesn't make sense. It's for the safety of the amplifier and thing. Don't think you can run 1500 watt and get a piece of wire of whatever size out there.
Right. Yeah, you gotta have a real antenna, not just
a real antenna. That's right.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of guys that have dipoles and verticals where the SWR on the edges of the band gets up to 2, 2.5 to 1, 3 to 1, lots of guys, and that's where the tuner comes in.
And the tuner should get it down to 1.1, 1.2. If you cut that down, then you don't have a real antenna.
Right. No, that's great. Well, Reinhard, I think we've answered all the questions, and we're real excited about the assembled version, and we can't wait to start selling those. So get those stickers over to us, and we will go to town and get these all built up and tested. Oh, he's got the stickers right there. There they are.
Here are your stickers.
Get those in the mail tomorrow.
Yep.
And let's see here. Valero says, what is the minimum input to obtain the maximum output? Can I drive low power rig like the ELAD? And yes, you can use.
I give the answer right away, Tim. I give the answer right away. Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh, we lost him. Well, it looks like Reinhard, maybe the computer that he was on, something happened there. But Valero, you can contact Reinhard over there in Europe, and he does have smaller attenuators so that you can use low power, like from the ELAD. So, but just contact Reinhard directly there. So with that, we really hope everybody had fun here talking to Reinhard of RF Kit. And we want to make sure that you go to the DX Engineering blog on allbands.com and click on the events calendar so that you know the next manufacturer that's coming up on Thursday. And tomorrow we're going to have a special guest. We're going to start talking to our bloggers that do the On All Band. Yeah, there you are. You're back, Reinhard.
You know what? I just put out the cable. Actually, I just wanted to show the ELAD. I'm driving the ELAD to full 1.5K. And that's, well, just to answer that question for many hams, what is the difference between the US version and the international version? So according to FCC, we are not allowed to make more than 15 dB gain. And that's the US version.
Right.
In the international version, in one of the next software releases, we're gonna get the low power button in the menu, so you can switch to low power. And then you can drive that amp with just 2 watt to 1500.
Yep, yeah.
And that's what I'm doing with my ELAD. So 2 watt drive, you get 15 out.
2 watts in, 1500 out. So that ought to take care of it, Valerio. So we really appreciate everybody watching today. And thank you, Reinhard, for coming on and for making such a great product. And we are thrilled to be your North American distributor here in the United States. And we wish you the best. And we'll look for you on the air. So
thank you for having me, Tim.
Okay, 73, Reinhard. 73 from DX.
73.